Power of imagination. How to live your dream future. You are creating your future daily, moment by moment, choice by choice, thought by thought. So, if you're already creating, why not create the future you actually want? And the wildest part, you only need two ingredients: imagination and feeling. Imagination fueled with feeling is the secret sauce that makes the impossible melt into the inevitable. You have probably heard people call it manifestation, law of attraction, air, visualization, or quantum alignment. Call it what you want, the mechanism is the same. When you vividly imagine a life you want and power it with genuine emotion, you tune into the radio station of that dream. Your dream life already exists in the universe. You can co-create it by connecting to it. You shift your inner dial, tune in daily, hear your dream song playing, and then one day you realize you're living the chorus. Feeling is the secret sauce. Thoughts alone cannot rewire a life. It's the feeling behind the thought that creates result. Feeling is your vibrational signature. It's what aligns you with your desired state and reveals what you are truly assuming about yourself and your life. You can think about your dream house, your dream body, your dream career, your dream relationship. But unless you truly feel that I am living it feeling, you stay tuned to the wrong frequency. Your dominant emotion, especially the one you rehearse on loop, becomes the assumption your subconscious accepts as truth. And your external world reflects those assumptions right back to you like a mirror. If you spend your energy imagining arguments, betrayal, disappointment, or rejection, even silently in your mind, you're planting seeds for more of the same. Life isn't punishing you, it's simply echoing your inner state. Change your inner world, and your outer world has no choice but to realign. I have used this power of imagination to save myself from a terrible relationship. Back then, I knew nothing about manifestation or law of assumption. A decade later, when I started reading the books and studying this work, I realized I had used the power of imagination to walk out of a bad situation without even knowing what I was doing. There was a time in my early adulthood when I felt stuck in a relationship that dimmed my spirit. I was mistreated, made to feel small and less than, and trapped in routines and dynamics that didn't reflect who I was meant to be. I felt powerless, leaving wasn't easy, emotionally, socially, or practically. Our lives were moving into the same community, and disentangling myself from that web felt impossible. But this is where imagination walked in like a quiet guardian. Instead of replaying fear, guilt, or worst case scenario, I started imagining a different version of myself, free, happy, and living a life that felt like mine again. I imagined pleasure, lightness, and a new me who had reclaimed her self worth. Every night, I would imagine experiences that symbolized freedom, not just the visuals, but the sensation, the details, and the feeling. Eventually, the courage came. Within a couple of months, my external world matched the strength I had been practicing in my inner world. I walked away. Even better, it left me with a confidence I never knew I had. I started seeing myself as more beautiful, more attractive, more powerful, and people reflected that back to me. You know, that feeling you get when someone's looking at you that you can't see yet, and you turn and you see they are actually looking. That's because the other person's consciousness is laser focused on looking at you, and your consciousness picks up that energy. The moment I stepped into that new mind, my conscious focused on my free, beautiful self, and everyone else saw it too. I didn't just escape something, I became someone new. I truly believe all my past experiences were preparing me for today. Now I know I can do hard things. I can leave an unhappy situation. I also know I won't let it repeat as preparation again because this time I'm consciously rewiring my brain and rewriting my past through revision. Revision. Rewriting the past. Revision is the practice of going back into your memories and choosing which version of them you will emotionally keep. The process is simple but profound. Revisit a painful memory, select only the part you wish to retain or upgrade, feel the new version fully, accept it emotionally as truth. This isn't pretending. You're not denying what happened. You are cleansing your emotional pattern so your future isn't populated with unhealed stories. Your mind believes what you choose to feel, not just what physically occurred. Gratitude and selective focus are everything here. Just recently, I went searching for a positive feeling from my childhood to hold on to, a time when fear hadn't been drilled into my system. Spoiler, fear showed up pretty early in my life. But alongside it, there were other feelings too, feeling lucky, rebellious in a good way, confident and street smart, funny, and innocently happy. When I was around 4 years old, I had this beautiful dark blue velvet dress. The top was white silk and sleeveless, with three white stones on the collar, and a deep blue velvet coat on top. My mom said the dress was meant for me. It was a special winter wedding dress, not a hand me down from my sister like most of my fancy clothes. It was mine. During my aunt's wedding and a few other weddings, my mom would put tiny gold bangles on my wrist, the adjustable ones with small balls on the edge, and a gold chain with a tiny rectangular pendant engraved with Arabic words that read Allahu. I adored the whole look. When I struggle to recall joy, I think of that moment, that innocent joy of a little girl who felt completely special, totally chosen. I hold on to that feeling. My childhood wasn't perfect. My parents gave me as comfortable and fulfilled life as they could, but there were moments of feeling inferior, moments of pain and unfairness. But in the middle of it all, there were also these small, vivid memories where I felt great when someone complimented my cleverness, said how lucky I was to have my dad's support for my education, when I got a surprise Barbie dinner set I desperately wanted, when I was complimented for my confidence. I try to actively focus on these memories, not to erase the hard part, but to choose which feelings to expand. That I am blessed warmth came back many times in my life. When I first moved to Montreal at 17, my sister was already there. Life was tough. I had to figure out living alone, finances, adulthood, but I chose to remember how lucky I was when she had already done the initial heavy lifting, so I didn't have to start from ground zero. With my in-laws, who would shower me with gifts and love, I choose to remember the moments of being embraced and celebrated. There were also moments when things went wrong, horrible bills, losing passport, unfortunate incidents, accidents. But my dad and uncles would say, only you can solve this. Only you are capable of handling this. That became the reality I chose to believe, that I am the only one who knows how to find a way out of chaos. When I was pregnant, life tested this belief on a whole new level. I had a high risk pregnancy, my husband lost his job, we had to urgently move to a new city, we lost the home we were planning to buy. I was the only one working, dealing with physical pain and emotional uncertainty. But somehow, through all of that, I felt lucky. I had this constant feeling that my baby had angels around him, and those angels were protecting both of us. All my dreams would come true, and I will have a happy life. I truly believed that. I kept feeling lucky, and life kept reflecting that energy back. I started winning lotteries and random ruffled draws, little things, but they kept happening so often that it was impossible not to notice. I was feeling lucky and I kept getting lucky. Eventually, my baby was born very small, and I was induced at 37 weeks after 52 hours of labor. Everything in the medical chart said NICU was likely, but I held on to one dominant assumption that my baby is not going to NICU. And that's exactly what happened. We avoided NICU altogether. It was pure blessing, but also the power of a mind that refused to rehearse the worst ending. You experience what you are conscious of being. Here's the core of the whole philosophy. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. Your consciousness, your inner I am, is the force that shapes your world. It's your inner state of awareness, the lens through which you experience everything. In spiritual language, God says, I am, and that divine spark lives within you. So your consciousness is also whispering, I am, all day long. It's not interfering, it's witnessing and then creating from whatever you consistently choose to assume. Your awareness is what you actually control. You decide where to put your energy, your focus, your attention. Most of us don't realize how often we use that power against ourselves, rehearsing negative feeling towards a person or situation, imagining arguments, worst case scenarios, failure, rejection, and then we are surprised when the reality reflects that back to us. We need to get out of our own way. Your external world is a reflection of your internal state, your beliefs, assumptions, expectations, and dominant feelings. You experience what you're conscious of being. Changing your life requires changing your state of consciousness, not micromanaging external events into place. Now, when you want your dream, you need to assume you already have it and then fuel that assumption with feelings. If you want to be a motivational speaker, don't just say, one day I'll speak on stage. Close your eyes and see the stage, hear the mic humming, feel the weight of the headpiece on your ear, see the audience clapping, feel the heat of the light on your skin, the excitement of your heart beating out of your chest as you think, holy crap, I've made it. Your heart will then feel the intention. That feeling, centered with a decisive imagination, will then guide you effortlessly towards each right step, one at a time. Don't hold on to timeline. It is inevitable. You need to have impeccable faith that your dream, that um, of your dream. Living from the end. Neville Goddard calls this living from the end, not just thinking of the end. It means embodying the identity of your fulfilled desire instead of endlessly wanting it. So instead of thinking, I want to be confident, you assume I am confident. Instead of longing for prosperity, you practice feeling prosperous now in the way you walk, in the way you talk to yourself, in the way you make decisions. This subtle but powerful shift changes your identity, and your identity changes your experiences. You don't have to force external events, micromanage outcomes, or chase endlessly. You just ask yourself, who am I being today? What am I feeling today? What frequency am I on today? That is consciousness. That is your power. Assumption is the key to transformation. Law of assumption is basically to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It looks like this. Imagine yourself as already being or having what you desire. Generate the feeling of that reality. Dwell in that state until it becomes natural. Sustained assumptions hardens into fact. Your inner assumptions determine your outer world. Imagination plus feeling equals creation. You can transform your life by consciously choosing your state of being and living as if your desire is already fulfilled. The power of awareness lies in the realization that awareness itself is your creative power. You can choose which state of consciousness to occupy: the victim, the survivor, the lucky one, the confident one, the loved one, the creator. The mastery of awareness leads to mastery of life. I always encourage starting with self-observation. Notice what you're thinking, feeling, and assuming, because those quiet inner decisions shapes your destiny. Then move into personal responsibility. You are the operant power. Nothing external truly has power over you unless you hand it over through your assumption. To change your outer life, you must take responsibility of your inner life. In essence, the power of awareness teaches that your inner assumption determines your outer world. Imagination plus feeling equals creation. You can transform your life by consciously choosing your state of being, and your job is to live as if your desire is already fulfilled, not someday, but now. It is a guide to conscious creation, self transformation, and using imagination as a tool for shaping reality. Practice application for your real life. Here's how to actually use imagination, not as escapism, but as creation. Number one, relax into a calm meditative mind state. Let your body loosen and your mind soften. Two, visualize your dream with as much detail as possible. Don't worry about the step, just the finished scene. Three, add sensory detail. What do you see, hear, smell, touch? What's around you? Number four, then add the feeling. This is the magic. Without feeling, imagination is just daydreaming. Number five, dwell in that state until it feels natural. The more real it feels inside, the sooner it solidifies outside. Number six, repeat, not from desperation and lack, but from joy and quiet confidence. Always choose the feeling. Some days you won't naturally feel good, and that's okay. On those days, instead of forcing yourself to be positive, go back to childhood, back to a moment where you felt lucky, chose it, celebrated, safe. Grab one memory, just one, and sit with it. Let it be your anchor. Let it be your frequency. Let it be your dream fuel. Because at the end of the day, you are the operant power. Your imagination is your steering wheel. Your feeling are your engine. Your consciousness is your creator. And when you choose to live from the end, when you feel lucky, safe, guided, and worthy, your life will rise to meet that feeling. It always does. This is Maisha Taranam. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast.